Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about how to create an Ethereum wallet using Go. So an Ethereum wallet has three things: private key, a public key, and the Ethereum address. And I'm going to show you programmatically how to create all of them and what's their significance and where they're exactly used. So to generate the wallet, we need to import the Go-ethereum's hex util as well as the crypto package. So the first step is to create the private key. The private key is actually used to sign the transaction securely. So it is like a password. So in your account, you have your own specific private key and you should not share it with anyone else. So you can generate a private key using this crypto.generateKey function, and this generates the private key, which is of 64 hex characters. And next thing is to convert it into a readable format so that you can see what exactly is your private key, and that is done by using this converter function. So you can feed in the private key to get the bytes of the private key, and then you can encode it into a string to simply print the private key. So in this case here this 2 is mentioned because we want to strip off the first two characters, which is 0x, and without that it will look something like this, which is actually the private key. The next step is to create the public key from the private key. So there is this public method. You can simply call on that directly on the private key to get the public key, and as usual in the previous one we will convert it into hex by doing a type assertion. So this is basically the hex of the public key, and then we can convert to bytes to be able to print it. So this is done similarly like in the case of private key. So we convert it into bytes and then encode it to string to be able to print it. And we get rid of the first four characters because the first two is 0x and the next two characters are 04 in case of the public key. So we strip it off and then we print it, and that is the public key. And then the third and the final thing is the address of your Ethereum wallet. So this is basically a particular hash of the public key. So hashing is basically you can convert any data type to its corresponding hash, and that will always be of a certain length. So in this case we take the hash and only pick up 20 bytes or 40 characters from it and prefix it with 0x, and that becomes the address of the wallet. So that is done basically by calling this pub key to address function, and we feed in this hex format of the public key and we convert it into string and we simply print it. So if I run this program, it should print private key, public key, as well as the address. Okay, so here you can see the private key. This is the large string, which is the public key. So the private key is supposed to be a secret number, so never share your private key with anyone. This is the public key, and from the public key, we take the final last 20 bytes, and that becomes the address. Okay, so this is how we generate a wallet in Ethereum using Go.